Everyone having a right to a safe and stable home benefits us all. I come with no other agenda than desperately trying to help people who are in need.
Everyone having a right to a safe and stable home benefits us all. I come with no other agenda than desperately trying 0:0 seconds to help people who are in need. It was meant to be a cheerful royal day, a rare, relaxed escape from protocol. But 0:18 seconds by the end of it, a royal line had been crossed. What began as innocent childhood banter quickly spiraled into whispered outrage behind palace doors. 0:27 seconds Prince Louis, the cheeky, lively youngest of the Wales trio, left the gardens in tears. And this time, Prince 0:35 seconds William didn't just frown, he acted. So, what exactly happened? And why has Camilla's granddaughter just been erased 0:42 seconds from royal favor? Let's break it all down. A picnic with hidden politics. It was supposed to be just another cheerful 0:50 seconds royal outing. Picnic blankets on Balmoral's manicured lawns. Kids running wild and corgis darting between teacups 0:57 seconds and sandwiches. No official speeches, no stiff protocols, just family time. Or so 1:0:51, 5 seconds it seemed. King Charles had organized the event, hoping to bring unity between his bloodline and Camilla's extended 1:1:21, 12 seconds family. A well-meaning idea, but one that made Kate, ever the careful mother, quietly uneasy. She'd always been 1:201, 20 seconds polite, poised, and diplomatic. But when it came to her children, especially Louis, her instincts rarely wavered. 1:271, 27 seconds Prince Louis, the youngest and most spirited of the Wales trio, was in his element. Bright-eyed, full of energy, and 1:351, 35 second endlessly charming, he skipped through games and laughter with his usual confidence. His infectious giggles were the soundtrack of the afternoon. Camilla, 1:441, 44 seconds meanwhile, ensured her own grandchildren were present. Though not royals by blood or title, their growing appearances at 1:511, 51 seconds royal events hadn't gone unnoticed. Some saw this as her subtle strategy to blur the lines, to weave her family into the 1:591, 59 seconds royal fabric, and this picnic felt like one more stitch in that plan. At first, everything seemed lighthearted. 2:052, 5 seconds children played, parents chatted, and nannies exchanged gossip over elderflower drinks. But then something 2:132, 13 seconds shifted. Kate's posture changed, her smile paused, her eyes fixed on Louis. 2:182, 18 seconds he stood still now, face flushed, expression unreadable. Across from him was one of Camilla's granddaughters. No 2:262, 26 seconds more giggles, no more games, just a moment of tension sharp enough to slice through the summer air. It wasn't clear 2:332, 33 seconds what had been said, but something had clearly gone wrong. The kind of wrong that mothers notice instantly. Kate 2:402, 40 seconds began walking, calm but alert. This gathering wasn't just a picnic anymore. 2:452, 45 seconds was a mirror reflecting deeper divides. Two families, one throne, and children caught in the crossfire. And as 2:522, 52 seconds Louise's usual sparkle dimmed, Kate knew this wasn't just innocent playground teasing. It was the beginning 2:592, 59 seconds off, something far more serious. But what happened next unraveled so quickly, and yet so quietly that many of the adults 3:073, 7 seconds did notice until it was too late. A cruel comment and a crumbling smile. Louis had always been the spirited one, the youngest royal who made even the most serious official events feel a little lighter at trooping the color 3:213, 21 seconds beyond mid-parade. On the palace balcony, He once covered his ears and shouted during the fly past, completely 3:293 minutes, 29 seconds stealing the show. But beneath the cheeky grin and unruly charm was a child deeply connected to his family, especially to his mother, Kate. He 3:383 minutes, 38 seconds adored her, and what happened in the garden that day struck at the heart of that bond. While the adults were preoccupied with tea and Royal's small 3:463 minutes, 46 seconds stalk under the marquee, the children had broken into smaller groups. One patch of grass became an impromptu football 3:533 minutes, 53 seconds field. Another hosted a pretend tea party complete with toy cups and muddy sandwiches. Louis, bouncing between 4:014 minutes, 1 second groups, eventually found himself alone near the rose garden. That's when Camilla's granddaughter approached. It wasn't clear what sparked the exchange. For 104 minutes, 10 seconds some say it started with a snide laugh. For 124 minutes, 12 seconds others believe it was prompted by Louis's playful attempt at a royal curtsy, something he'd once done jokingly to mimic his mother. But what 4:204 minutes, 20 seconds is certain, according to multiple insiders, is that the moment turned mean fast. You really think your mom's going to be queen? The girl reportedly 4:294 minutes, 29 seconds sneered, her voice loud enough for a few nearby children to hear. She's just pretending. Everyone knows Camilla is the 4:364 minutes, 36 seconds real one. Louis blinked, confused at first, then hurt. His hands fell to his sides. He looked down at his shoes, and the warmth in his face started to fade. For 464 minutes, 46 seconds before he could even formulate a response, she struck again, this time attacking something even more personal. For 534 minutes, 53 seconds, and what's with the way you walk? Is that your prince training? Do you think you're better than everyone else because you live in a castle? Witnesses 5:005 minutes described Louis's face as shifting from confusion to pain. Red flushed his cheeks. His bright, mischievous eyes 5:085 minutes, 8 seconds began to well up. Someone later said he looked crushed, not because the words were cruel, but because he had. Never 5:165 minutes, 16 seconds expected them from someone who was supposed to be family. One child giggled, another turned awkwardly away. 5:225 minutes, 22 seconds no one intervened, and Louis, trembling, did the only thing a 6-year-old could think to do. He ran straight toward the 5:305 minutes, 30 seconds edge of the garden, where Kate stood quietly with Charlotte. Before Kate could react, Louis threw himself into her arms, sobbing. His small body shook 5:395 minutes, 39 seconds against her dress as she held him tight, her hand gently cradling the back of his head. Kate didn't need to ask what had 5:475 minutes, 47 seconds happened. The look on Louis's face told her everything. His confidence, his sunshine. It had been stolen, and in its 5:545 minutes, 54 seconds place was a child who felt mocked, misunderstood, and unsafe. For those standing nearby, the moment was jarring. 6:026 minutes, 2 seconds a hush seemed to fall across the gathering. Even the corgis, who had been enthusiastically chasing Shadow's moments 6:086 minutes, 8 seconds earlier, stood still. Camilla, positioned a few yards away, noticed the scene but made no move. Whether she didn't 6:166 minutes, 16 seconds understand the gravity of what had just happened or chose not to is unclear. But what is clear is this. Kate saw 6:246 minutes, 24 seconds everything. She held Louis close, her expression unreadable, but inside something snapped. Not with panic or 6:326 minutes, 32 seconds dramatic outbursts, but with a deep, simmering fury only a mother knows. The kind that waits, that observes, that 6:406 minutes, 40 seconds remembers. This wasn't just rude playground banter. This was intentional, calculated, echoing words too mature for 6:476 minutes, 47 seconds any child to invent on their own. Kate looked up across the garden. Her gaze found William. And in that unspoken 6:5:46 minutes, 54 seconds second, everything changed. Kate's silent storm. Kate Middleton is known for her calm, for her grace under 7:0:37 minutes, 3 seconds pressure, for her ability to smile through scandal and stand firm in royal storms. But no palace training, no charm 7:1:17 minutes, 11 seconds school diplomacy, no media etiquette could prepare her for what she felt in that moment when Louis collapsed into her arms, face flushed with shame, and 7:2:07 minutes, 20 seconds heartbreak. To outsiders, she remained composed. Her hand gently smoothed his hair, her voice soft as she whispered 7:2:77 minutes, 27 seconds something into his ear. But anyone who had ever seen a mother snap into protective mode would recognize the look in her eyes. Behind that composed 7:3:67 minutes, 36 seconds exterior was a storm brewing, cold, deliberate, and powerful. Kate didn't make a scene. There were no dramatic confrontations or public scoldings. 7:4:67 minutes, 46 seconds instead. She stood up quietly, took Louis's hand in one of hers, and gestured for Charlotte with the other. 7:5:37 minutes, 53 seconds together. The trio walked back toward the palace, every step purposeful, every movement composed. But to the trained eye, it was clear she wasn't retreating. 8:0:48 minutes. For seconds she was repositioning, calculating. Camilla watched them go, but didn't move. 8:0:98 minutes. 9 seconds perhaps. She didn't know what had just happened. Or perhaps she assumed wrongly that it would blow over like a gust of royal gossip. After all, children 8:188 minutes. 18 seconds squabble all the time, right? Not this time. Once inside, Kate led Louis to a private sitting room away from the flurry of royal aides and event 8:278 minutes, 27 seconds coordinators. She knelt to his level, her hands on his shoulders, her eyes locked with his. Tell me exactly what 8:3:48 minutes, 34 seconds happened, she said gently. And he did, at first hesitantly, then with growing confidence as the words poured out, the 8:4:28 minutes, 42 seconds teasing, the comments about his courtesy, the mocking of his walk, the cruel remark about his mother not being 8:4:88 minutes, 48 seconds a real queen, and finally something Kate hadn't expected. Another insult 8:5:68 minutes, 56 seconds whispered under the breath of Camilla's granddaughter. At least my granny didn't die, because of the crown. That was the moment Kate's eyes went cold. It wasn't just childish cruelty. 9:0:89 minutes, 8 seconds. Music, 9:1:29 minutes, 12 seconds. It was deliberate. It was personal. And worst of all, it was learned from somewhere, from someone. No child speaks 9:199 minutes, 19 seconds that way unless they've heard it at home. That was the detail Kate couldn't shake. Her son wasn't simply hurt by a 9:269 minutes, 26 seconds cousins teasing. He had been wounded by a legacy, by whispers and rumors passed down like family recipes. It was Diana's 9:349 minutes, 34 seconds memory being used as a punchline, and Louis, too young to understand the full weight of it, had still felt its sting. 9:419 minutes, 41 seconds. Kate didn't cry. She didn't shout, but the air in the room shifted. Within the hour, she summoned her private secretary. Her instructions were simple. 9:519 minutes, 51 seconds. Clear her schedule. Cancel every engagement. No school runs, no charity visits, no ribbon cutings. She was 9:589 minutes, 58 seconds staying with Louis. But even more urgently, she called for William. When he arrived later that evening at Adelaide Cottage, Kate met him at the 10:0610 minutes, 6 seconds door, her face pale and firm. She led him inside. Louis had already gone to bed. The conversation that followed, 10:14:10 minutes, 14 seconds according to an insider, was the most emotionally charged exchange they've had in years. She laid everything bare. 10:22 10 minutes, 22 seconds. Every word Louis repeated, every expression, every flash of pain, and she didn't hold back. You're the heir, she 10:29 10 minutes, 29 seconds reportedly said. It's time to start acting like it. This family protects its own. I will not let this go. If you 10:36 10 minutes, 36 seconds and take action, I will. She reminded him of Diana, of how silence had cost too much, of how the institution had 10:43 10 minutes, 43 seconds failed her, and how history could repeat itself if they didn't draw a line. She wasn't asking for revenge. She was 10:50 10 minutes, 50 seconds demanding boundaries. Kate's message was clear. This wasn't just about Louis. It was about dignity, about family, about 10:58 10 minutes, 58 seconds finally ending the quiet favoritism Camilla had spent years weaving into royal life. William said little at 11:05 minutes, 5 seconds first. He simply listened, but his face said everything, and by the time he left the room, the storm that had started 11:12 minutes, 12 seconds with Louis' tears had become a royal reckoning. But what silent power move did William make after Louis' tears 11:19 minutes, 19 seconds sparked a royal reckoning?
Stay tuned to find out.
William's turning point. Prince William had faced many pressures in his life. Public scrutiny, royal expectations, the shadows of both his father's reign and his mother's tragedy. 11:35 minutes, 35 seconds, but nothing rattled him quite like seeing his youngest child broken. Louis wasn't just hurt, he was humiliated, and 11:42 minutes, 42 seconds that changed everything. After Kate recounted the incident in chilling detail, right down to the jab at Diana's memory, William didn't speak for a long 11:51 minutes, 51 seconds time. He sat with his hands clasped, staring at the floor. Kate had said it all. There was nothing left to explain. 11:58 minutes, 58 seconds. What remained now was a decision. He wasn't just a future king anymore. He was a father, and the moment called for 12:05 minutes, 5 seconds more than diplomacy. The very next morning, while the palace buzzed with routine engagements and scheduled appearances, William quietly summoned 12:14 minutes, 14 seconds his most senior aides to a private study in Kensington Palace. There was no media alert, no fanfare, just the sound of 12:21 minutes, 21 seconds doors shutting and muffled footsteps behind closed walls. Inside that room, he laid out everything calmly, clearly, 12:30 minutes, 30 seconds without anger, but with unmistakable resolve. There was an incident involving Prince Louis, he began, and there will 12:37 minutes, 37 seconds be consequences. He wasn't looking for apologies. He didn't want a carefully worded statement or a mediated resolution. What he wanted was 12:45 minutes, 45 seconds accountability and distance, effective immediately. The young girl who insulted Louis would no longer be welcome at 12:52 minutes, 52 seconds royal events involving his children. No holiday invites. Okay, now this one should be fine. I did get a bit emotional when I sang it in their 13:0013 minutes because it's just like an unbelievable venue. No charity appearances. No symbolic walks alongside Charlotte and 13:07 minutes, 7 seconds George. Her quiet integration into the royal circle had come to a full stop. 13:13 minutes, 13 seconds, and then came the headline move. Any pending consideration for honorary status, titles, or privileges connected 13 minutes, 21 seconds to Camilla's granddaughter. The aides were stunned, not because they disagreed, but because William was no longer asking for 13:13 minutes, 28 seconds consensus. He was making decisions like a leader, like a protector, like a father who had finally drawn the line. 13:36 minutes, 36 seconds. This wasn't just a reaction to a playground insult. It was a message to the monarchy itself. Legacy doesn't come from association. It comes from honor. 13:46 minutes, 46 seconds behavior and loyalty. It wasn't a request. It was a notification. For the first time in years, William wasn't 13:53 minutes, 53 seconds deferring to the crown. He was standing in front of it. And whether the institution liked it or not, the balance of royal power had just shifted. But 14:0214 minutes, 2 seconds, what shocking message did William send that shifted the balance of royal power forever? Stay glued to your screen. The 14:0914 minutes, 9 seconds stripping of a royal future. The next 24 hours sent ripples through the palace corridors like a silent earthquake. 14:1614 minutes, 16 seconds. There were no press conferences, no official statements, but those in the know felt the tremor and understood the gravity. By midday, William's decision 14:2614 minutes, 26 seconds had been quietly communicated across key royal departments. Camilla's granddaughter, once gently positioned for honorary appearances and subtle 14:3414 minutes, 34 seconds title discussions, was now erased from any future plans involving the monarchy's next generation. No pageantry 14:4114 minutes, 41 seconds rolls. No invites to Trooping the Color, no mention in ceremonial rosters. She had been, in royal terms, cut out. 14:5014 minutes, 50 seconds years. Camilla had been slowly weaving her family into the royal spotlight. Her grandchildren, while not royal by blood, 14:5814 minutes, 58 seconds, had walked in coronation processions, appeared in high-profile photos, and attended intimate palace events. At 15:0515 minutes, 5 seconds wasn't official, but it was strategic. A quiet campaign to solidify their proximity to the throne. But William saw 15:1215 minutes, 12 seconds through it. And now, after one cruel moment directed at Louis, he wasn't just pulling back the curtain. He was shutting the door. The young girl who 15:2115 minutes, 21 seconds made Lizzie cry would no longer be allowed near him or his siblings. Not on birthdays, not on holidays, not even in 15:2815 minutes, 28 seconds staged photo ops. This wasn't a punishment. This was a boundary, a signal that royal favor isn't granted by association, but by integrity. And 15:3715 minutes, 37 seconds, perhaps most striking of all, William hadn't asked for the king's permission. 15:4215 minutes, 42 seconds, that's what stunned even the most senior palace aides. For decades, royal hierarchy dictated that Charles would approve or deny major family matters. 15:5115 minutes, 51 seconds, but this time, William had acted first and informed later. Because to William, this wasn't about royal tradition. At 15:5815 minutes, 58 seconds was about a child. He wasn't interested in half-hearted apologies or neatly worded excuses. As one aide later put it, 16:0616 minutes, 6 seconds, William didn't want an apology. He wanted space. He wanted peace for his children. By the time Charles read the 16:1416 minutes, 14 seconds letter, the decision had already been enforced. And for Camilla's granddaughter, whatever quiet future she imagined alongside the next generation, 16:2216 minutes, 22 seconds off royals had vanished without ceremony, without compromise, and without a single word spoken to the press.